Hey, what's going on, guys? Alright, so in today's video, what we're going to be doing is setting up NAT. We'll do a static NAT in this one, and we'll save dynamic for another one. But anyways, just to give you a general overview of what's happening here, we have an ISP router over here. And what we're going to do is take a block of public address space, and we're going to set a static route over to our gateway router. And what we're going to be able to do with that static route is basically give that address space for our local area network to use as public addresses. We're going to set up NAT on the gateway router, and we'll statically map, say, laptop A over here. We'll statically map that source IP address to one of the public addresses that the ISP has given to us. And then we're going to set up a default route on our gateway router. And what that's going to do is it's going to push any traffic or any packets with a destination address that's not found in the routing table of our gateway router. It's just going to push it out to our ISP. So to get this started, we'll hop over to our ISP router, and we're just going to set up one command. I've already configured the IP addresses, so if you're following along with the same PKT file that I've uploaded to the site, you could just open that up and not have to worry about the addresses. So let's get to the IP route command. So what we're going to be doing is IP route, and then we're going to be using our public address, the network address for our public address. So 20, is this it right there? No. So what we'll do is we'll just make up a public address right now. So let's use 209.165.20.224. And the second argument to the command is going to be subnet mask. So we'll make it a //27. So what this subnet mask does is it basically says, okay, we're going to start with this network address, and we're going to assign 32 more addresses that could be used with that one. Or sorry, 31 more addresses that could be used with this one right here. So basically our local area network is going to get these addresses statically mapped over to the gateway router. So third argument is going to be the next hop address for our gateway router. So we're right over here on serial 00, and we're going to be going over to serial 001, and that's going to be an address of 209.165.201.18. Alright, so we set up that static route. So basically we have a static route set up here. This network address, 32 addresses going over to our gateway router at this address right over here. So now that we're done with that, let's go over to our gateway router. And on the gateway router, what we're going to do first, just real quick, is set up a default route. So setting up a default route is you use the same command that you use for static route. So you go IP route, and default routes are 0.0.0, 0.0.0. So what this means is any address that's not recognized, we're going to send it over to our ISP, which I believe is 209.165.201.17. Yeah. Alright, so now that we've done that, we're going to configure NAT. So to do that, you're going to have to do IP NAT, and we're going to be assigning it to an address on the inside of our network. So IP NAT inside source static. So basically what this is saying is we're going to be using an address on the inside of our network. It's going to be a source. It's going to be statically assigned, and the source address is going to be this guy over here. So 192.168.1.20. And we're going to follow that up with the public IP address that we want to assign to it. So for that, we get anywhere between 209.165.20.225 all the way up to 209.165.20.255. So we'll just make it the first usable address in that space. So 209.165.20.225. Pretty sure that's what it is. 209.165.20.225. Yep, there we go. So, all right. Now we've taken this host right over here and we've publicly mapped we've statically mapped a public address to it. The next step is to let the router know which interface is on the inside of the network and which interface is on the outside of the network. Routers aren't able to really distinguish this when you do the static NAT, so we're just going to let it know. And how you do that is we go onto FA0 or whatever your interface is to the inside of your network, and then we have to go onto the interface for the outside of the network. So let's start with our inside interface, and we go IPNAT inside. All right, so now we let the router know that F01 is the inside, and now we go, I think it was 000. Yep, 001. And okay, so now we have to just tell this router that it's on the outside of the network. Beautiful. All right, so we've taken care of all the commands. That's really it for static NAT. Now to check static NAT, you go do show IPNAT. Do show IPNAT. Oh yeah. So it's show IPNAT translations. And as you can see, we have nothing inside here right now because we haven't sent any packets out of the network to reach the ISP. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll run a packet from our PCA and we'll go over to our ISP. And I always just do this just a few times just to get something going on inside there. So let's try to run this command again. Alright, now you can see we got some stuff loaded up in here. So looking over at this column first, it's ICMP, just means we sent a ping with Internet Control Message Protocol. This inside global is the global address that we statically assigned to this local address. So inside global, inside local. Local address inside, global address inside, that's statically mapped to this local address right here. Then we have our outside local and outside global. These two guys are going to be the same because it's the source network address for our ISP, so that's going to be good like that. But yeah, that's statically assigning, statically mapping public IP addresses to a private IP address on your network. And in the next video, we'll look at how to dynamically assign these two addresses.